Miss Brett? Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drink on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Let's see, we got new evidence. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. So, this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had? It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to just keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh, no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke, in more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Okay. The way to rub my steak. Let's press this again. Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown in from height, however, a person's life taken, there's always a trace, quite right. Yep. And for a flawless investigation, If heaven forbid you doubt me. So not that one, I guess? Yeah, we need some evidence to back that up. Let's go back to this one, I guess. Let's see if we can get him to cough again.
Objection! Excuse me.
Well, maybe we could just ask him. What do you make of that, Inspector Hosonaga? I'm talking about that last statement. What I mean is, does nothing strike you as unusual about it? Dang, this is hopeless. No matter how hard I tried, I just can't get that past that cough. I don't think you need to push it, Ryunosuke. Give him some time. Yes, alright. I'll leave it for now.
Yes!
Let's try this one. Ooh, there we go.
Excuse me.
Got a reaction. What do you make of that, Inspector Hosonaga? Talk about that last statement. Oh, okay. So this is the... Okay. So I gotta do the last one again?
Yes!
Inferior, what do you mean by that? Okay. New evidence. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. I never even thought of pursuing another witness over the current witness's statement. That was a great idea of yours, Kazuma. Well, it was all thanks to you noticing that the detective had reacted strangely to what the lady said. I never had guessed he had all that bubbling away under the surface. To be honest, you keep surprising me at every turn. Sorry? Oh, never mind. So, we know that Dr. Wilson was killed around the time the steak was brought to his table, and by some means that left no physical trace on his body. If we could just demonstrate how it was done... Well, I do have one idea about that. How about the professor... or about how the professor was killed? Maybe I should just present the evidence and see what happens. Let's just present the evidence and see what happens, yeah. What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Ooh. Could it be? Could it be? Order, order, order. And on that day, who was sitting on the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett. It was you.
Objection!
This is outrageous. To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling of your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one's individual guilt with respect to one's crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Grr. Ahem, if I may. I will silence you forever for this disgraceful to... It is you! You! Okay, now I know her voice. You, who should be silent? Of course. Dear lady! Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my utmost humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison at any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No! Ooh. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place as if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution has asserted, a shot to the chest from the gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused who, by his own admission, was holding this weapon is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no. I'm just glad the matter was resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you will excuse me now, I must really be leaving.
Hold it!
Ooh? Please, wait! Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. To be continued. Dun, 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 dun. Save, yes. Save it on 3 again. We're on part 3 of the trial. 22nd November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court, Courtroom 2. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why is this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! A judicial assistant, and a woman no less. The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Yes. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency, I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something? Written in English? It's Giselle Brett's research. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper. Oh, yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard of that word before. Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Giselle's report has been entered into the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. You have had long enough, Council. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Well, let me look at this evidence real quick. A poison, or synopsis. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Special characteristics, effects. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry. The above mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its inability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have an application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Okay, so that's what happened. He had the anesthetic, and then I guess that poison hit him, and then that's what caused it. But we are going to present... I'll present that later. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present the court? I presume not, but... The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're almost out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett. Yes, Your Excellency. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid... It's not so very long until tea time. I'll have... Forgive me, Miss Brett, it seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was a phrase as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel. What is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you are studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison? What? Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as Curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death. What? What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it. You wouldn't have done... What do you mean? I mean, you wouldn't have heard of Curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct. Which means, no matter what test the police can do for the toxins, they'd never identify Curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? Because it came from overseas. Order, order, order. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, Curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Curare suffered instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspirations or aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that cure was used. Explain yourself, counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strengths and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor, but with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into the endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of his deadly career poison. Or of this deadly career poison. And you're suggesting that this bottle, counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison? This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. If I may. All these facts, you think you're so clever, but you must be taught some manner. It is you who must be taught. Of course, of course. Dear lady! So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work, then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree? Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. Ha ha ha. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Oh. Don't get a bit too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry. To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair has been farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics is laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers. Go. Wait, what are you doing? Show her the nickname, why she got the nickname Swan Neck. Hmm? No sparkle left at all? How appropriate for this shabby affair. Dong, 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 dong. Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no cure? The bottle was clean? Is that what you're saying? Ah, you look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here with this grand venue, most kind. Grr. Thank you, waiter. Now then, your excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now. Thank you. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make any sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have been killed over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains poison. The culprit did put career poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Attention!
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could have contained poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the poison, or drinking the water from it. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How, exactly? I need to think thoroughly. All the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed? Let's see. The body wound. Maybe? No, actually, crap. I'm gonna go with this.
Yes!
No, it was not this, because the music's still going. It's right here. That is not a valid explanation. No. After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest, I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct this to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report? Oh boy. Alright. Oh, okay. Which section of the report reveals alleged answer to this riddle? It would be... Let me check out my court record real quick. It would be... Special characteristics. Right? We've been hearing a lot about this cure air poison, and it's left me curious about something. Oh, Council? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of arrows while they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes, and the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So, surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Council. No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. And then we're gonna have to find the answer on next episode. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a like, it helps out, and subscribe. I'm gonna be posting out some more videos and stuff.